What is going on, guys? Welcome back. FMU here, and my god, is that something I never thought I'd ever say again. First things first, thanks to those of you who are watching, and I've been away for a long time off Twitter and stuff. I closed my account now and everything, needed a break, had a fresh reset, so I am back on Twitter. You can follow me, the link is down below in the description. If I remember, I'll pop something on the screen if I can. I don't know what the quality of this is going to turn out like because I've got rid of everything. My video software and everything is all gone. I got rid of it all. I was paying for it and I've got rid of it all. So I don't even know what I'm gonna make this on at the moment. I'm recording it, but I don't know what I'm gonna make it on. So we'll see how it turns out. But hopefully it's good enough to get you through. So what the plan is, I've been getting, since I've come back, I've only been back like a few days, and I've had so many. How do you make the club badge? How do you do this with the kit? How do you do that with the kit? How do you add this onto a kit? How do you add that onto a kit? Now I know there's videos out there and stuff, but I thought I'll make some, and then if people ask me, I can just direct them in the way of the video. So hopefully this helps you out. So we're going to start off. This is my one of my ideas for Football Manager 2021 if it happens, and it's a new team, one that I'm going to create, and it's going to be City of London FC. Now they do have a team called City of London, but I think they're an amateur team, so it's not them, it's nothing to do with them, it's something completely different. So I need to make logos, kits, 3D kits, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to start today with a logo. So this might not be your thing, you might not want to make a logo, you might not give a crap about a logo, but it can be used to make logos for your Twitter account or something like that, so you can follow the same steps. I've given it just a red background because it's a contrast to the colours that I'm going to use for the badge. Obviously the background's going to get sacked off at the end, so the background doesn't really matter, but I just like to have one there when I'm making it. So what I always do is, where's my mouse gone? There it is. I always start with a, where are we? What am I doing? There we go. With an image size or a canvas size, whatever you want to call it, of 11.06 by 11.06 centimeters. Just gives me a nice big square to work from, a nice solid sort of area. So we're going to do a round badge. They're the simplest to show people that a lot of people like the round badges, so we're going to go over round badge. And what I like to do is, so that I know I'm getting it bang in the center, is click on view, go down to new guide, and then in the vertical put 50%, and it'll bash that in there, and then go back up to view, new guide, excuse me, horizontal this time, 50%, bang. So you've got a nice centered little sort of center point. That was brilliant, well done. We've got a nice center point there. So we're gonna go with the back color of white, and this little plus, literally line it up on here with the middle, and then hold down left click and pull it out. Now you see I'm just holding down left click and it's going all over the place. If we hold down shift, it will put it in perfect proportions, which is what we want. So we're just going to pull that right out just to near the edges and let go of the left, and it will make us a nice big, very bright white circle. Now I'm going to go and double click on that circle layer. Okay, and we're going to add a stroke inside, and we're going to make it black. And then it's on 4 at the moment, you can just see it there. I'm going to start upping it. I'm going to go for about 8. So it's quite a thick line. It could be thicker, we could go 12, 14, so you go as thick as you want. But I'm just going to go with 8 for now. Okay, so there we go, we've got that in there. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come on and I'm going to add another layer, another circle should I say. So we're going to hold that down, pull it out, holding shift. If you hold shift at the beginning, it just adds it to the same layer, so don't do that. There is definitely not a deleted clip of me accidentally doing that from a second ago. So we'll come in here, do that to about there I think, and there we have it. That circle doesn't look, to me, it is, it just doesn't look like it's centered, but it is. And then we're going to double click on the layer again, add another stroke, and automatically it's gone inside and 8 for us. It's just taken what we've done last time. That's nice and simple, pretty easy there, pretty easy. So the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in, I'm going to have a lion. on this. It's probably going to look a bit Chelsea-esque maybe, but it's just purely by coincidence. That wasn't the plan. What I've done is I've searched for Lion Graphic PNG on the internet. There were a few PNGs that came up, but then I saw a JPEG, which is obviously a solid background. PNG is a transparent background, so it would just be the lion, no background. You can just bash it in, change the size of it, do whatever you want to do with it, and you'll be okay. But I thought I'll show people who can't find quite what they want in a PNG and have to have a JPEG what you can do. It's very simple. So I'm going to go to, I've saved it into a folder. I'm going to file, open, and it's in my little folder here. So all spoiler alert as to what Make the Kit's going to be in a future episode. Maybe I may change it from that. So this is the line I found, so I'm going to open that and you'll see it's popped up on here. Now you could do it one of two ways. If you go over to this little tool here, you've got the quick selection tool, or you've got the magic wand tool. When you use the magic wand tool, you could click on the outside, but you can see it's only selected that bit there. Then you'd have to hold down shift, this bit here, and all that. But then you'd have to go in and select all these little lines and intricate details. You'd have to zoom right in, and it'd be just such a pain in the backside. So I'm going to press Control and D to get rid of that. I'm going to come into the black area of the lion and just left click on him, and it will select it all, cutting all those out. But you'll see obviously it hasn't selected everything, so I'm just going to do Control and plus to zoom in, and you can see the main body bit that's all joined has been selected, but there are the little details on the edge of the leg. That one has been selected, but this leg and this leg haven't. So you just hold down shift, you see a little plus pops up on the one there. If you look at the wand, a little plus will pop up, and we will hit left click there and it selects all that, left click there and it selects all that, and we'll just do it on that little toe bit there. Just make sure we've done it, double click on it, and it's got all of it. So we can press Control and 0, and that will bring us out to here, and then all we need to do is select and mask. Now you see it's gone faded. That's because I've been doing stuff in the past. We're going to bring the feather down there, we're going to bring the smooth down there, and it's given us quite a sharp object, and that's it cut out. So what we're going to do next is select this tool here, the move tool, hold left click and drag it and hover over this layer, and then drag it down and drop it, and it's into there. And then I'm going to hold Control down and T, and that gives us this little box here, and then we can go onto the corner and drag it out and make it a little bit bigger, and then we can move it into the middle, snap it into the middle a little bit. I'm going to come up just a little bit, so that's perfectly centralized, and I quite like it because I may even go a little bit bigger. I might go to there, and then we'll just pop it into the middle. You can have it on so that it snaps into the middle when you're moving it around, so hopefully that will look okay. Obviously the towel won't come out, but that's not the end of the world. But I wanted it just to overlap a little bit. You know, I wanted it just to overlap into these bits just a little bit, just to add a little something to it. I might pop something in the background. I'm toying with the idea of a London landscape in the background, so I might do that in a moment. So we've got that in there. I'm just going to hide that layer for a moment because I need to come back to this second layer, Eclipse 2, which is this inner circle. I'm going to hold down Control, and you'll see I'm hovering over this box. Hold down Control and left click, and you can see it's highlighted this layer for me. It's very nice of it, isn't it? It's highlighted that layer. So I'm going to come to the text, and I'm going to centralize my text. This is important if you want it to be in the middle, and I'm going to change the color of it to black. And then as you'll see, we've got like the little text icon there with a box around it. If you slowly drop down over, you have to highlight this layer by the way, slowly drop down, I'm rusty, slowly drop down, you'll see it changes to the icon with the squiggly line. You click there and it will allow you to put text in, and it will follow the path that you have selected. So we've got that. So I'm just going to put in here, all capitals, City of London, and then we're going to hold down shift and press up, and that will select all of it. And I'm just going to beef up the text a bit because it's a little bit on the small side. We'll go to there, and then we can have a little look through here. I've not got my text from Adobe on, but I have got all of the text that I've downloaded and stuff. I don't think I've got my text from Adobe on anyway. We'll soon find out, I suppose. No, I haven't. So you can download hundreds of text from defont.com. They're all free. You know, you don't have to pay for them. You can donate, but you know, you don't have to. And that's where I get a lot of them from. Or there is, of course, the Adobe text and stuff, but I haven't turned my cloud on before I've recorded this, and I don't need to. I've downloaded a text called the bold font, which is normally quite good for these sorts of things. So we'll have a quick little look at that. It's a little low down, so we're just going to reselect it all. And then there's this little thing here. Some of you may already have this down here. I don't. I have it sort of hidden away up here. And then we can change this setting here, and this will change the height of it. So I'm just going to try and centralize that a little bit. That's not too bad. What's that look like with the badge on? That's good. I like it. That's what I wanted. I wanted the City of London stuff to be behind the lion. I quite like that. So we'll just get rid of you again. So we've got the City of London part in there. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to use that text. Let's just have a quick little look through and just see what we've got text wise. See what there is. There's quantify. Just looking for something that looks quite nice. There is so many. I've got so many texts now. It takes a long time for me to find one that I like, or that I feel would suit the badge. That's why I've turned off my cloud, because otherwise I'd have been here forever. I've got so many. See, I quite like that. I do quite like that for a badge. If we maybe did that, I don't know. I am going to stick with the bold font, and we'll just take it down to size 28, and because it's just a little bit bigger, we'll up it just a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to stick with that. Now I'm going to highlight this, go onto the layer, left click on it, hold control and left click again, so it brings this up. And we're going to do the same this time at the bottom. We're going to click on it there, and we're going to come in and we're going to put football. Oh, hang on a minute, it hasn't selected it. Brilliant. We'll come back again, try that again. There we go. And then football club. There, that looks spectacular, doesn't it? Looks beautiful all upside down. You couldn't ask for anything better. It's an easy fix. It will do that. So you come over to here where it's got path selection tool, and you need to make sure you've got path selection tool, not direct selection tool chose. And you'll come here and you'll see this changes from an arrow to the text thing with two little arrows at the side. Hold down left click and just push up, and it will do that to it. It'll move it over. Then double click on your text, or text click on it until it selects it all. Come in here, and instead of going up, we're going to come down, and you'll see it'll spread your letters out and stuff, and then you can just pull them into roughly where you think they look right. That's maybe just a little bit too low. Oh, let's try that. That's a bit better. So we've got that in there, and we've got our line in there. Click on that. So that's that. You can change the colour of the line if you wanted to, or whatever. Obviously you might not be using the line, you could be using maybe a shield or something. I don't know, you use what you want. I'm not the boss of you. You use what you want. So we've got these bits around here that are a little bit, just a little bit bare. So I'm going to put maybe 3 stars around the edge here, 1, 2 and 3 there, just to give it a little something. And I think I will, just to add just a little something, put a faded sort of London background on there. So bear me a second, and I'm going to go and find myself some stars. Rightio. So I'm just going to close that down because that's the line thing. Don't need to save it because we've got it there. I'm going to now file, open, and I've got myself a little star. Right, so we've got I say a little star, this has got a big star. It was a PNG, so there's no background, don't need to worry about it. You can, if you've got your folder open, you can just drag and drop them onto the picture, but sometimes people are like, well, how did you get it on there? How did you get it on there? And to show drag and drop, I'll have to show opening a folder and all that sort of stuff, so I'm not going to do that. But we are going to drag and drop it again, so select the move tool, just left click and hold it, hover over, drop it in, and it's humongous. So Control and T will bring up the boxes around it. I'm just going to move it down, come in to the corners and just resize it down to about that, and then move it up here. But I don't, well, actually that's a little bit too big, let's just do it to about there. But I don't want it to be upright, so again Control and T, and then you see if you're on the sides it comes up with a straight arrow, on the corners sort of a straight arrow, but if you do that it's sort of a rounded arrow, so you can come in and sort of angle it just a little bit. So there's one, and then if you press Control and J it will duplicate it. So we're going to come down to, I might have to do actually 4 on each one. Oh, how exotic. That might actually, I'm going to Control Z, and I'm actually going to Control Z again, and 2 more times to make it a little bit bigger. So Control Z will take you back to, well, it will sort of undo the things you've just done, because I want to put 3 stars in, so I need to make them a little bit bigger. And if we come to about there with it, that should be okay, and Control J, that'll do it. And then we're going to just come in here, and that's what we need, something like that. God, this is more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Something like that, just so that we've got the start there, and then J again, and then we'll bring that one to about there, and we'll just do that with it. I think that's probably, there we go. You see there, it's got 0.05 inch and 0.05 inch in blue on there. You can see that is showing that the gap between this bottom star is the same as the gap between the top star and the text, so that means that they're really well aligned. So we've got the 3 stars on there. Now you could faff around trying to do that again over this side, or you could hold down Shift and select the 3 star layers, which are these 3 here, like that. Right click on them, merge layers, and it will merge them into a 3 layer. Then Control J, that will copy it, and then if you go into edit, transform, flip horizontal, it will flip them, and then you can just hold down Shift and hold left click and drag them over. That means it will hold them in the same place, and then just pop them there, and you'll see it's got 0.003 inch and 0.003 inch in blue little boxes. That means that it's bang on in the exact same place, and that is it. That is the simple way of doing that. And then we're just going to come in here and click on the Eclipse 2, that's this second layer, and I am now going to file, open. I'm going to open this cityscape. It's all in PNG, so don't have to mess around with it. Hold left click, drag it over and drop it, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to zoom out first, doing Control minus, and I'm going to hold Control and T and just drag it up a little bit, maybe just a little bit smaller. I'm going to come in there like that, pop it in, and I'm going to add underneath it just a little black box just to fill that gap in at the bottom there. Okay, so we're going to come in with that. So these 2 layers, you see I've just added that rectangle onto the bottom just as a filler. I'm going to hold down Shift and select both those layers. So this is both these two layers, and I'm going to merge them, and then I'm going to drop the opacity down to 45. What's 40 look like? I'm going to drop it down to 40, and now with this layer selected, I'm going to hold down Control and click on this little box here on Eclipse 2, which is the second circle layer we made, and it will highlight it. And then there's this little thing down here, little box with the circle on. Click that, and it has now cut out all the rest of it and just had the image there. So we've got a nice little image in there of the city in the background behind that. And I've noticed, like I say, there's a little bit of white, just a little tinge of white on the edges, some part of this on the line. So I'm going to come onto the line, double click, and see what happens when I click on color overlay. That's very gold. And then black, and just see if it still looks. That's better now. It's now a bit more in keeping with the color. It suits it a bit more. I'm going to take away the background, and I'm going to just hit Control and 0, and I'll pull us in nicely, and that is the finished badge. Very simple to do. As long as you, I mean, I know I'm a bit like, you got to do this and do that and do, and you might be a little bit like, oh, but you can pause it. That's the beauty of it. You can pause it and do what you want. So you can play around with that and do loads of different sort of things with it. Try it out, you know, in different areas, different styles. You don't have to do this. Maybe you want to do this to start off with, step by step. See how your City of London Football Club badge comes out compared to mine. Maybe you'll do better. You probably will. It won't be hard. And then you can try doing, maybe adding colours and stuff, and doing all sorts of things like that. That is just a basic logo. I may change the logo up if I do the save. It's just an idea at the moment, but if I do the save, then I may do this logo for a few years and then change it up, and have a little bit of a different one as the club progresses and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. But that is that. Now the next thing that you're going to want to do is, this is the next thing I get asked, is how do I put it in the game? Now obviously I haven't made the team, I haven't created the club or anything yet, so this will be a little bit different. But what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to file and save as. Now I always save a copy of my badge. I'm not going to go into where are my folders actually. I go into graphics, and I'll do this here. We'll save it in here. City of London FC. So I'll have that in there. Now I can move it into whatever folder I need to later on. So we'll come in here and I'll just put logo master and save it as a Photoshop PSD. So it saves all the layers and stuff. You can save it as a TIFF if you want to, but I'll just save it as a Photoshop PSD. We'll save that. Okie dokie. So it's saved. Now I'm going to go File, Save As, and then leave it as Logo Master, but change it to PNG, and that will save it like this without the background, and that's what we want. So we've got that. That's brilliant. Then we can go File, Open, and there it is. It's in there. I'm going to open this one now. We can get rid of that one. We don't need that. So we've just got the PNG open. And this is how easy it is to save it into the game as a file. You know, we need to make the config file, but as just the basic image, it's very easy to resize and do. Very simple. So we need to go to Image, Image Size, and change the image size to 200. Hit Enter. It will resize it to that. File, and Save As. Now this is where you would go to, say, let's do it. Documents, Sports Interactive, and where are my graphics? Graphics, logos, and then I've got a lot of logos and stuff in here. Some of them aren't being used, some of them are. We'll create a new folder again, and we'll just call it City of London FC. Okay, go there, and then what we'll do is, this is the difficult part, because you need to find out what your club's ID number is. So you'll go into FM, open it up and see what the number is. You can do that by going into preferences on Football Manager, and it will say show ID numbers on screen or something, and you just tick that, reload the skin and go to your club screen, and it'll have the name of the club at the top, and then underneath it'll have a little ID number. So you will need that to do this. So let's just make these two. These are the two folders that we will put the two different sizes in. So this is the normal size badge. So let's just say that the number for this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the club ID for now. We'll just make it up and we'll save it and OK. So that's saved in there. Then just come back into image, back into canvas size, change it to 20, and it make sure this is linked, otherwise that'll go to 20 and that'll stay at 200 or something. So click OK, and you've got this tiny little thing here where if you press 0, that's what it looks like if you zoom right in, but it's the small badge that shows up on the league table and stuff. It renders better in the game, don't worry, don't panic. Then go to File, Save As, and you'll see we're back into this one again, which is a pain in the arse. So back into Documents, back into Sports Interactive, back into your graphic. If you haven't got a graphics folder, just create one, and then back into City of London. Now I put the last one in normal, this one is going into small. So again, like I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's the club number, and save it in there. So that is that part. Very simple, very easy. The config file bit is a little bit different. So what we're going to do is, so we'll go into this, go into Sports Interactive, go into this, go into this, go into this. Now I've got other logos made, so I've already got a config file. If you haven't, just download a mega pack or something like that and get the config file from there. So I'm just going to come in and let's just take it from this one. So we're going to normal. Oh, that has got it in there. Brilliant. Well done, Paul. What about you? Have you got it in there? You haven't. Okay, I'm going to show you the mega pack then. So we'll go into the mega pack. Logos. Europe. Doesn't really matter which one you choose. Clubs. Normal. And we'll come down. And the config file is normally at the very bottom here. So we could just add it into this mega pack, but I'm just showing you what we'd do if it was just like your normal, you're making one, you don't want to add it to your mega pack because you want to keep them separate. So we'll do that. I'm going to open up another documents folder so I don't have to keep going backwards and forwards all the way through them all. Come into here, go into logos, City of London, normal, because we've just taken the config file from the normal, copied it, pasted it, and then we'll right click on it while it's selected, right click, open with your notepad, and you'll see you've got all of these in here. I'm just going to select those, scroll right down to the bottom, then hold shift and click there, and it'll highlight everything and delete them, just leaving the top one because we only want one logo. And then what you do is you come in here, and this here has to be whatever you have named the file. So if you've named it London Badge, it needs to say London Badge. If you've named it what the name, you know, the ID number, it needs to be the ID number, which is what we've done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then what needs to be in here is the club ID number. It has to be the club ID number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you hit File, Save. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do for this is, because we're just doing the one, it's very simple. I'm going to copy this, come out, and go into small, paste it, left click, right click, open with notepad, and all we need to do now is just change this from logo to icon, and that is it. That's all you need to do. So the small badges always need to be this text, but with whatever you've named the file there, and the club ID and icon. The normal size ones need to be all of this, whatever you've named it, club ID and logo. It's simple as that. Like I say, just download a mega pack. If you haven't got a config file, say if you're making one yourself, just download a mega pack, copy the config file and edit it to whatever you need to be. Well, that's that. Then you go into the game, go to preferences, clear cache, reload skin, and if you've done it right, you've got your numbers right, you've got your config typed out right, you've named the pictures right and everything, it will show up in the game. So I'm sorry it's been a little bit sort of here, there and everywhere, and I've been a little bit sort of but it is my first video in several years, so I apologise. But hopefully it's helped out. I've made a couple of mistakes along the way, but I'm going to leave them in because we all do, we're human. If this video has helped, please remember to hit the like button. Don't need to subscribe if you don't want to, but you can do. It's very nice. I'm going to try and do some more. We're going to do kits. I'm going to show you how to make the 3D kits, the 2D kits, how to add designs and details to it, and how I angle my badges. I kind of like to have sometimes I do it a bit too much. I've messed up a few lately, but I like to sort of angle the sponsor and the logo and stuff. And then when we've done that, we're going to make a player infographic. That might have to be split into a couple of parts because this video is very long as it is already, so I apologise for that. But we're going to make an infographic and I'm going to show people how to add the heads into the kits and stuff and do it that way. So hopefully you'll come back for those. But thanks very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure being in your ears. Catch you next time. Bye bye.